Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Let's have a little update from the Ukrainian front, and this comes from the Ukrainian side. So put your little filters for whatever is going to be propaganda. Just get the information that looks like information or sounds like information. I will use a Russian map as well. Unfortunately, that Russian map is from yesterday, but it's still valid, showing obviously the locations and the towns where the fighting occurs. So let's see what's going on there, as I said, told by the Ukrainians. The New Voice of Ukraine reports on February 25, 2023. Ukrainian defenders repel 70 Russian attacks, destroy MiG-25 helicopter. On February 24, the Ukrainian army destroyed one MiG-24 attack helicopter and 4 enemy UAVs, one Orlan 10, one Zala, and 2 Lancet 3 strike drones. Ukrainian invasion carried out 20 strikes on concentrations of Russian personnel and military equipment, as well as 2 strikes on anti-aircraft missile systems at their firing points. Ukrainian artillery and rocket launchers also hit a Russian command post, 2 concentrations of enemy manpower, and 3 ammunition depots. A lot of activity. Over the past day, the Russian forces conducted 27 airstrikes and fired 75 times from multiple launch rocket systems. Situation on the front line. All right, this is the one. Here I have the Russian map here, and all these bullets. If you access them, if you click on them, they're gonna tell you what the hell was over there. Now the yellow bullets here is usually right here. For instance, Russian air defense systems shot down a Ukrainian drone. So this is what the Russians destroyed. These red ones are where the Russians hit whatever the military they say positions they hit. Let's say this, for instance, right here. Let's see what they say. Units of the Zapad group carried out strikes against troops and equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine using air power and artillery. And here, where is the black automatic weapons here? These are clashes, direct clashes. This is Artemovsk, which is Bakhmut, but I'm just gonna use this map because it has the oblast very well showing here. Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporozhye, Kherson, and here we have Crimea. So let's read the Ukrainians. According to the General Staff, the enemy is focusing its main efforts on conducting offensive operations on Kupiansk, Liman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Shakhtarsk sections of the front. Now all that is this. Well, you have this area where you have the black dots with AKs on it. On the Volyn, Polisia, Siversky, and Slobozyansky direction of the front in the north and east of Ukraine, the operation situation has not changed significantly. The enemy continues to maintain its military presence near the state border of Ukraine. Is training its reserves, but no signs of the formation of offensive groups have been detected. During the day, the enemy fired mortar and artillery shells at the settlements of in Chernihiv, that's to Michalchnya Sloboda in Chernihiv Oblast. Now that's north, the other way around, right here, Chernihiv. The Russians call it Chernigov. The Russians did not say anything here because this is from yesterday. They didn't update their little map here. All right, so then it's and then in Yunakivka, Vodolahi, and Boyaro Leznichi in Sumy Oblast, as well as areas of 23 settlements in Kharkiv Oblast. So the Russians fired mortar and artillery shells on these 3 oblasts: Chernihiv or Chernigov, Sumy Oblast, and Kharkiv or Kharkov Oblast, right here. Now we're going to go down south and they're going to talk about this area right here. Luhansk, Donetsk. I mean Lugansk, Donetsk. Luhansk, I'm sorry. Liman is right here, where they mentioned before. Clashes are there. So let's go and see on the Kupiansk and Liman section of the front. So again, Liman is right here. Right here. The enemy tried to improve its tactical situation in the areas of Masyutivka and to drive Ukrainian units out of the Serebryansk forested area. The Russian army fired artillery in the vicinity of 17 settlements. In particular, they give us Kupianska, Berestove in Kharkiv Oblast, and some settlements in Luhansk Oblast were hit. So they say that areas here were hit in this area. On the Bakhmut section of the front, Bakhmut is one of the hottest. It's right here, Artemovsk by the Russians, where they say fighting is taking place in the city. This is according to Russians yesterday, right? So this is Artemovsk. This showed up now, and before it was not there. Yesterday, or before, the day before, the founder of the Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, said that Russian troops have taken full control over the village, Berkovka. Okay, well, if they took control of that, this is concerning right here. Because if the Russians take over this, they can encircle these guys. I kept saying that, but they don't listen to me. Let's see what's going on here. Units of the Center Group carried out strikes against troops and equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine using air power and artillery. All right, let's go back to the Ukrainians. In the Bakhmut section of the front, that one that I showed right here, the Ukrainians say the enemy continues to attack the positions of Ukrainian troops, launching several unsuccessful attacks near Berkivka. Berkivka, is this Berkivka where Wagner? Yeah. So this is, so yesterday, remember, this is what Russia said yesterday, that the Russian troops have taken full control of the village, Berkovka, probably that's how the Russians say it, and the Ukrainians say today that in Berkivka, unsuccessful attacks near Berkivka, Ivanivske, and in Donetsk Oblast. The enemy is actively conducting aerial reconnaissance to adjust artillery fire. 16 localities came under fire, including Spirnya and Bakhmut in Donetsk Oblast. All right, on the Avdiivka and Shakhtarsk. So that is, we're going down, Avdiivka. All right, where is it? They call it differently, it's right here, Avdiivka. Avdiivka, fighting is taking place on the city outskirts. Russian forces destroyed the Ukrainian command post and ammunition depot. Let's see what the Ukrainians are saying. So on the Avdiivka and Shakhtarsk sections of the front, the aggressor conducted unsuccessful offensive in the areas of Pervomaisk, Nevelske, and Marinka. I saw Marinka over there as well. Right here is Marinka. Let's see what the Russians are saying. Fighting is taking place in the western part of the city. So they're in the city. These guys say that, well, you know what? Unsuccessful offensives in the areas of Marinka. Russian artillery attacks were registered in 7 localities. Among them are Avdiivka, Vodiane, Marinka, and Vuhledar. Now, Vuhledar is called by the Russians Ugledar. So it's right here. Let's see what this guy said. Fighting is taking place on the city outskirts. Forces of the Vostok Group, in the course of active combat operations, destroyed Ukraine Air Forces troops using artillery and airstrikes. Well, from all this information that I get from the Russians, they are fighting either in the city, at the outskirts of the city, and these guys are saying, well, nothing happens. But based on the information I received, and I was following this every day, it seems like the Russians are advancing, but very, very, very slowly. On the Zaporozhye section of the front, 20 localities came under fire, including Vremivka and Novopil in Donetsk Oblast and about 4 in Zaporozhye Oblast. So these were just came under fire in this area, which is Zaporozhye. Let's see what these guys are saying. Russian forces destroyed a UAF ammunition depot. And here they said Russian forces destroyed the ammunition depot of the 104th Artillery Brigade of the Ukraine Air Forces. That's what what they say. That's it. I mean, as I said, this is from 24th, unfortunately. On the Kherson section of the front, 34 settlements in Kherson Oblast were hit by Russian artillery fire, among them Pam and Kherson, Antonivka and Kherson. Antonivka is important, and Kherson right here. This is actually the Kherson area. Kherson is right here, the city, and all these blue things are Ukrainian forces fired 6 shells at the town. So these are Ukrainian shelling on the other side of the Dnipro River. And here is where the Russian air defense system shot down 2 Ukrainian drones. I don't see anything, according to the Russians, that they did in Kherson here, just like a defensive operations. All right, let's go down. But you see this 34 settlements, 20 localities, 17 localities. These are 17 settlements. These are big numbers, and the 23 settlements. The number increased from before it was like 10, 7, 13. Now it's in the 20s, most of them. According to General Staff, in a temporarily occupied part of Kherson Oblast, Russian forces are searching houses and seizing boats and other watercraft. Are they not done with that yet? I mean, they had control over that part of the town on the other side of the river for so long, and only now they start searching houses and seizing boats. Anyway, pretty soon we're going to find out how many civilians they killed, because they always say that. And I'm pretty sure that happens on both sides. But hey, these are the Ukrainians going to tell us only what evil Russians are doing. Previously, such actions were taken before the withdrawal from the West Bank part of the region and for sabotage activities. Having destroyed more than 80% of the housing stock in Mariupol, Donetsk Oblast, the Russian administration is offering the victims of these bombings to get housing in new buildings on the outskirts of the destroyed city. However, knowing that documents confirming ownership were destroyed along with the housing, the occupation authorities, quote-unquote, cynically impose the provision of them as a mandatory condition for obtaining new apartments. All right, yeah, okay. The General Staff added that forced mobilization continues in Russia's Chechen Republic. Forced mobilization. What did you have? Did you have a voluntary mobilization when you declared general mobilization before February 24th? It was a voluntary? I don't think so. Anyway, this is how these guys are trying to, change opinion. But hey, this is, as I said, you got your filters on, so BS could be, pushed aside to prevent possible desertion of those mobilized from the front on February 23rd. Up to 200 additional police officers from the Akhmat Special Forces Regiment were sent to the Bakhmut section of the front. So, Kadyrov was telling the truth when he claimed that there would be about 200 other fighters joining and going to the front. That was about 2-3 weeks ago. So this is a short update. Unfortunately, the Russians did not update them, but let me check and see if they did it in the meantime. No, they didn't. So probably I will make another video with Russian update later in the day and see what the Russians are telling us about their operation updates. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.